guest will come.
Oh, wow. So many people signing in from all over the world. Wow. This is amazing. Hi, Layla.
Hi.
Hi, Ken. Samir.
How's it going? Good to see you.
Good to see you. Hi, Aya-san, Yuko-san, Chris.
Hey,
Jackie,
Tomo.
Carol, Ayaka-san, Annie, Beck. We have
Oh, wow. So good to have you all.
Hi, Jen. Nice to meet you. Mhm. So we'll just wait for maybe 1 or 2 minutes to let everyone in and get settled. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on time. Not an easy feat to get. I think 30, well, actually around 40, 50 people together in one place. So yeah, really, really grateful for your punctuality. I think everyone has done it already, but if you can change your name, change to your real name, not your children's name, your own name. And then if you don't mind putting your affiliation, if you have an affiliation, so that people know what organization you represent. Some people don't have, so which is totally fine. You don't have to. And then you probably got the notification that this is recorded. And so hope you're okay with that. Yeah. And when we start, definitely want you guys to turn on your videos as much as possible so we can see your beautiful faces, your warm smiles, and everyone knows whom they're talking to. I know you guys have all been on the other side of being a speaker, and speaking to a blank screen is probably the most exhausting and depressing thing in the world. So let's try to avoid that. So we have, oh great, more and more people coming in. Jackie's stretching, okay, sure. Chris is having dinner. As long as you can share what you're eating, Chris, we'll let you finish up dinner. What's that?
It is not as good as the food at Mana Earthly Paradise. That's all I can tell you right now. So
For the record, we're not paying him to be to do advertisement for us. So that was purely voluntary.
yes, that was purely voluntary.
Great. Yeah, and also if you can feel free to use the chat box as much as possible, because unfortunately we can't have everyone talking at the same time. So yeah, chat box is your best friends. Ah, Monofuji-san. こんにちは、こんばんは。
Minutes. So he'll be 5 minutes late.
Okay. We'll start. Hi, Carol. Good to see you.
Hey, Tomo, nice to see you.
Good to
Nice
see
to
you.
see everyone. Yeah.
Mhm. Great. Oh, we have Matt joining, I think. Beck, how are you, Beck? Mhm.
I'm good, thanks, Tomo.
Yeah. Maybe we can all type in the chat box where you're calling in from. That itself, I think, is pretty amazing. So from what I can tell, there's someone from South Africa. We have people from Australia. Japan is probably the most heavily represented. We have a whole bunch in Indonesia, Singapore, Bali, Canada. Oh, okay, Kevin, I didn't see you. Yeah, calling in from the airports. Arif, great. Fiji, of course. So I guess the easternmost is Fiji. Westernmost is probably Cape Town. But Jen is calling in from Melbourne. Great. Bali, Irma. Hi, Irma. How are you? Awesome. Okay, maybe we'll get started, yeah? What do you guys think?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us once again. It's really a pleasure and an honor for so many of our friends and supporters to be joining us tonight or whatever time it is in your location. You know, just going through the screen, I know we have friends from Japan, like Kenito from maybe PN, Aya-san from ASEAN Japan Center, Leila from Philanthropy Africa, Samir from Asia Development Bank, Yuko-san from Commons Asset Management, Jessica Farmer from Green School, Chris Thompson from the Bridge, Micah from Scoot, we have Monofuji-san, we have Beck and Matt. I don't know if Matt's in the other screen, but two of them from Pure Foundation, Carol from the Bridge, Irma from WEA, Women's Earth Alliance, and then going to the other screen, because we have so many people. We have Annie from Deutsche Bank Hong Kong, Jackie Hawking from VSS Singapore, Tim Fijal from Asankara Way, Kevin D'Souza, individual consultant, I think. We have Yuka Yabashi and Ayaka Matsuno from Sasakawa Peace Foundation. Yeah, so we have a really diverse and amazing, influential, accomplished, and most importantly, kind people here in this group. So yeah, I'm just simply touched that you guys are all here and showing support for these amazing change makers. This is actually probably the most important event that Earth Company is putting together this year. We were just talking about that yesterday. It's really a culmination of a lot of work, a lot of hours that we've spent supporting these 9 amazing change makers. And this is also the first time that we're ever doing this kind of thing. So needless to say, we're a little bit nervous and hopefully everything will run smoothly and that there will be no technical glitches. And so if you guys can all send your warm wishes and positive energy through the internet connections that you're connected to, then I'm sure we'll be okay. I think
we're feeling it.
Yes, we're feeling it, feeling the love, feeling the goodness. Great. Okay, maybe we can go to the slides. So, before we, yeah, okay, so slides are fine. Let me just introduce ourselves from the Earth Company team. There are 4 of us logging in. So my name is Tomo. I think I know 99% of the people here. And then of course I'm with
Aska.
She's actually right next to me, but on a different device.
Yeah, that's why we're joining from different computers.
And then we have Mami calling in from Japan.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. And then we have So. He is actually right in front of us, but connected through a different device. So it'll be the 4 of us kind of running the show as smoothly and as enjoyably as possible. So yeah, welcome to the Regenerative Future Summit. Now, I just want to take a few minutes to explain the rundown for today, as well as just to explain the background to why we're doing this today. So just a few minutes up front for welcome remarks and things like that. And then we'll get started with the presentations. Part one will have 4 speakers, and then we will have 5 speakers in the second half. And then we will split into 3 groups, and we will actually ask you to choose your own group. So this is by choice. And then we'll have a closing at the very end of the 120 minutes. Okay, next. So I know most of you are aware of what we do as Earth Company, but for those of you who are new, we are a social enterprise that was started 7 years ago by myself and my wife, Aska. And our mission is to create a regenerative future that enhances the well-being of all lives. And we do 3 main things. We have the Impact Hero program, which is really what we'll be talking about today. And then we also have an educational program called Impact Academy. So we work with schools and companies to understand but think beyond SDGs. And then last but not least, we run an eco hotel in Ubud, Bali called Mana Earthly Paradise, which Chris was voluntarily advertising for earlier. We have great food, great stuff happening there. And we're not actually there today. We're actually in a quiet co-working space without noise, which is a really important thing for tonight. Okay, next. So as part of our Impact Heroes program, we select one amazing, inspiring person per year from the Asia Pacific, and we support them for a 3-year period. And we do basically everything and anything we can, including fundraising. We fundraise at least $100,000 per Impact Hero and up to about $400,000, depending on how effective our fundraising is. And as you can see from the countries and the causes that they are engaged in, we are quite agnostic in terms of geography as well as the sector. We're really looking for life stories, life mission. Yeah, and Impact Hero 2021 is Arif, who is on the call today, calling from the airport. And then next slides. Something that we've started to do this year, so this is a completely new initiative, is to support not just one Impact Hero winner, but a cohort. And unfortunately, we're not wealthy enough to be able to provide financial support to all 9 members of this cohort, but they've been part of an empowerment program for the last several months. And they'll be talking to you. So I'm not gonna, yes, Jackie, yes, we're gonna be rich very soon. So we'll be providing financial support to everyone that comes in our way. Good, thanks, Jackie. Next. And so what we've done for these 9 amazing people, the plans have changed over time. Obviously, this is probably one of the most challenging year to be doing this kind of stuff. Plan A was actually to get everyone to Bali in April and to have a retreat and a boot camp, which is going to be great. And of course, that we couldn't make that happen. And plan B was to do kind of an online program, at the end of which we invite everyone to Bali in October, and we'll have like a big hooray and a kind of a conference in partnership with the Green School. That was going to be amazing. That fell through the drains. And so now we are implementing Plan C. Next slide. So we started this program back in May, and we've been meeting once a month. And we, of course, these 9 people are very busy people who are doing amazing stuff. So we didn't want to take up too much of their time, and we really wanted to focus on things that will be beneficial to them, that will be value add for them. And so we've been meeting once a month over the last several months. And today is really the finale of this engagement. Next slides. And so today, each of the speaker will be presenting on this topic. my role as a leader in creating regenerative futures for the well-being of my communities in the long run. So it's a bit of a mouthful. It's a bit long. And the reason why it's long is because we really placed emphasis on these three concepts: regenerative futures, well-being, and the long run. I'm not going to go into details of this because we've spent hours on this, but very happy to expand on these concepts separately or later. But yeah, so this is really the main theme of today's presentations. Next slide. In terms of regenerative futures, this is one slide that we've been using a lot last year or two to explain this evolution that we believe humanity and this world is going through from a degenerative world to a regenerative world. And they're probably sustainability and circular as these milestones that we have to go along to get to that point. And so we're really talking about something of a long-term thing, something of a grand vision that, that each of these speakers will be talking about later. Next. Okay, so I'll pass it on to Asuka now.
Yeah, so we just wanted to mention that this program is funded by Wellbeing for Planet Earth Foundation. Yeah, so this organization is a new Japan-based research and policy foundation. It was founded 2 years ago in 2019 with the aim to promote more inclusive understanding of well-being worldwide. And they're really trying to use it to influence policy. We're supposed to have one of the founders, Mr. Takashi Inoue, here today with us. I don't think he's here yet. So he's supposed to give us a few words. So once he arrives, we'll give him the cue to give us a few words. But yeah, we'll be introducing him when he arrives. So we'll hear from him a little bit later.
Okay, so yeah, maybe we can get started. So yeah, I'm sure you've been waiting for the speakers and not me or Asuka. So let's get started with Van. So we wish, huh? Oh, we're going with Sagufta, not Van. Okay, great. So the first speaker hails from Fiji Islands, Sagufta Janif. She is a Pacific Island Gen Z eco leader practicing zero waste and upcycling. Sagufta is an award-winning social impact entrepreneur who is trying to solve the global waste crisis and at the same time economically empower women and youth living in disadvantaged economic situations. So please welcome Sagufta.
Woo! Great!
Hello everyone, big Bulavinaka from Fiji. Thank you Earth Company Tomo and the team for this opportunity. My name is Shagufta and I'm the founder for my social enterprise, the Fusion Hub. And I like to say that we think outside the trash. So today we are talking about creating regenerative futures, the well-being, not just for us individually, but for the planet and for our communities as well. And what are the steps that we take in the long run and how we are planning to be sustainable as a social enterprise. So if you could have the slides. Perfect. Could I go to the next slide? So okay. So I started the Fusion Hub to address my own overconsumption behavior. In Fiji, in the Pacific, our marine life, we basically grew up next to the beach. So a major part of my childhood was spent on the beach, and there was once in my life that I went back to this certain spot that I used to go to when I was a kid. And when I went back in there, I saw things that were not supposed to be on the beach. So like plastic, we saw tons and tons of plastic bottles, caps littered everywhere. And instead of the marine life that was there before, we could see all of these things replacing it. So that is the point where I said that I am also part of this problem. There is nothing that I'm doing different that is actually addressing it. So I started the company to address my own overconsumption behavior. And this behavior is the main reason I feel for the global waste crisis that has been created and which we are all experiencing. And this has greatly impacted our lands and our oceans. To give you a perspective, in Fiji, around 60,000 tons of trash ends up in our landfill every year. And this is just from the urban areas. Rural communities do not have this access, and rubbish tend to find its way to the river streams and to our oceans as well. So to address this problem, we started upcycling waste into furniture and home decor pieces. The reason we started upcycling is because this is a more environmentally friendly, cheaper option and a energy efficient option as well. So then compared to recycling. So what we do is we take trash, a piece of trash, and we try to put it up in the product life cycle rather than breaking it down into small pieces and then creating something new from it. So and then the next step for us was to address a bit of the inequalities, because while I was going in asking for funding or pitching, I saw that there was this negativity towards a woman trying to solve the waste crisis or women trying to create furniture. So I decided to change this narrative and create a larger impact by involving women. So I started working with women from communities who are usually economically disadvantaged because they are usually subjected to stereotypical jobs and are not given the opportunities that go beyond these set roles. So we created a 2 weeks Waste Towards Capacity Building program where we train women from different communities and provided them with the resources and also market access. So they're able to learn and form a business entity or a cooperative and have access to customers as well as through our platforms and our channels. Next slide, please. So this is one of the communities that we were working with on an island called Benga. And we ran our Waste Towards Capacity Building program here. So we try to go into different communities to be able to address and find the resources they have access to and address the gaps that they have. So we were doing pretty well until the pandemic. We tapped into a lot of tourist markets. We were creating furniture from pet beds to sofa sets to mirrors, anything and everything that you could think of. But because the pandemic hit, the tourism market was greatly impacted. And when we talk about the long run, we had to pivot and continue supporting these, green and blue community-based startups that we had created. And we're hoping to create some more and come up with more initiatives. So next slide, please. On our pivot story. So what we did was we tried to find out what the gaps were in the market. What are the opportunities that these community-based startups have access to, what the gaps are. And the main reason why we found that many of these green and blue startups fail is because they don't have access to the right support mechanisms. And this is when we decided to change our model a bit. So initially we had capacity building programs. That was the first step. And then we would go into product design. Then we would go into giving these communities market access. But we identified that beyond market access, we needed to go a step further, where we had to focus on things like a back office operation support. So anything to do with small startups, say marketing, finances, operations, strategic management, project management, all of those things we take on board and we help them manage it through their lifestyle through their lifetime till they reach the growth stages. And if they require more support, we support them as well through that. So basically what we're doing right now is we have a capacity building program. We go into incubating these business ideas, then we go into product designing, then market validation, market testing, finally market access, back office operations. And right now we're at the step where we want to create a co-production facility where these startups can come and create their own products work on their services and things that they want to really create for as part of their business. So that is what our pivot story is. For us, what regenerative future really means is that we are able to work with the current resources that we have and take it to the next level. So that is what we have been doing, with the waste, transforming it into something else, giving it a new life and giving it out to the market, while also reducing our overconsumption behavior and the waste, dealing with the waste problem. And when we see the well-being, it's great for the planet. Reducing waste, we are reducing a lot of burden from our planet, from the oceans, from the marine lives. And in the long run, you see businesses are more sustainable. So if we have one-on-one solutions, really doesn't work. But if we have a holistic solution that sort of works correlatively together, then we are able to create something that is more sustainable and that can last us for a long period of time. So rather than just leaving communities by just training them and then going away, we go a step further by providing them with market access, and now by providing them with the back office operation support that they need. So for us, that is how we are working across these teams on creating a regenerative future, on maintaining a good well-being, and how we are going to be sustainable in the long run. So that is it from me. I think I went a bit over time. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. Thank you very much, Vinaka.
Thank you, Sagifta. I love hearing your story. I just heard it probably a couple weeks ago at the Green School Bridge events, but I never gets old. What I love is just how you see a problem and you just deliver. And you start doing something and you see another problem. It's like, okay, let's deliver that. And you see another problem. It's like, okay, well, let's work with the communities from the beginning to the end. Let's take them take them all the way to market access. And so you're such a doer, and love that can-do attitude. So thank you so much, Sagifta.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we're moving to Indonesia, to the island of Borneo. Maybe Randy's in Bali right now, but either Bali or Kalimantan. So Randy is a Borneo local hero, saving his island from deforestation through an ethical fashion business. Randy is a prominent young Dayak figure in the field of sustainability, social entrepreneurship, and indigenous rights advocacy. He is the founder and CEO of Handep, a social enterprise that empowers indigenous Dayak women and smallholder farmers through sustainable livelihoods and regaining their basic rights to lands and forests. So welcome, Randy. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you, Tomo. Thank you, everybody. Can I take over the screen, please?
Yeah, I think you can.
It's still disabled.
Okay. Try again.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. Selamat sore. Good afternoon. My name is Randy. I'm the founder and CEO of Handep. I am an indigenous Dayak, a proud indigenous Dayak who was born and raised in the heart of Borneo Island. When people talk about Borneo, people often associate it with the fact that it is home to the second largest remaining rainforest in the world. People call it the lung of the world. Isn't that so sexy? But the thing is that over the last 50 years, Borneo has lost more than half of its tropical rainforest. For the massive development of extractive industry like palm oil, mining, and logging, this has not only caused serious ecological problems, but also declining quality of lives of the indigenous people. Because of what? Because of radically limited livelihood options for the indigenous people. I have seen our land being plundered, our people getting evicted from the ancestral lands and losing their sources of livelihoods that are heavily dependent on forest resources. In fact, indigenous community plays such a critical role in protecting our global ecosystem. Seeing and experiencing this firsthand made me start Handep in late 2018 with a vision to co-create a more sustainable village economy together with my people that aligns with our local wisdoms and traditions. What are our solutions? First and foremost, at the core of our work is added value creation and innovation. Together with the indigenous community, my people in Central Kalimantan, we co-create an added value to local forest product into fashion and home craft to make them more marketable and have higher economic value. We also make sure that we're doing fair and trusting partnership with the community because it's my people. So I think I have a very strong emotional connection with the people on our land and home village. And last but not least, our solution is to nurture local champions, where we continuously provide capacity buildings for the local generation in order to create local champions that can sustain and manage their own resources in the future. I got this very difficult question from the Impact Hero team on how the concept of regenerative leadership, well-being, and long-term thinking relate to our work. My answer is I believe that our works embody this in three folds: in the vision, in the business model, and in our values or ways of doing things. Our vision is really to create a more sustainable and stronger village economy that still aligns with the local wisdom and tradition. Why this is important as the core of our value, of our vision, because more often than not, a lot of organization and government programs often lose the cultural nuances of indigenous communities, especially in the Dayak communities. What we are trying to do is to flip the narrative to make it more locally adaptive and feasible for my people. As you can see in this business model, our business or organization is really all about sustainability and circularity. All goes back to nature in order to create a more regenerative future, not only for the environment, but also for the people who actually depend on Mother Earth. And here are our values or approaches at Handep. Innovation. We believe that innovation is the driver of our work in order to reposition the value of indigenous craft and commodities that are more often than not marketed as low price, easy to replicate, and low quality. Second of all is locality. We believe that we need to be more locally conscious. We have to make the most out of our natural resources. So we say a big no to an alien concept. We don't want to import our raw materials or supporting materials from other countries because we want to be local so that the economy, the local economy also can grow stronger. Fairness and transparency, where fair trade is our rule of thumb. For every product, we only take an average of 30% of profit margin. We believe that the artisan and the smallholders who put so much energy, efforts, and thought into every piece of this product deserve a fair pay. And we also make sure that everything is mutually agreed in doing our work. Growth beyond number is also another aspect of our regenerative approach. We don't want to measure our success or growth just in terms of financial growth, but also taking into account social and ecological impact that we can create for Mother Earth and also for the community that we work with. Of course, we at Handep believe that infinite development is impossible in this finite world. We always double check and assess whether or not we have grown over the limit or not, because we're trying to make sure that we do not overexploit our natural resources, because we don't want to repeat the same narrative like this big corporation do. Here are some examples of our products. We only produce high quality and sustainable craft products, fashion accessories, home decorations, and also seasonal organic products. Yeah. Even in the product itself, we make sure that our approaches are very circular in order to avoid over-consumerism and also adverse impact on the environment. In addition to that, we also do some community development programs on regular basis. Like I mentioned earlier, we want to create local champions. We don't want to monopolize the market because our approach is really about creating indigenous communities who can manage and sustain their own resources. I think that's pretty much about our work. And here's just a glance of our impacts, both socially, economically, and also ecologically. And moving forward, we're hoping to expand our impacts to create a better Mother Earth and also the lives of other creatures on this earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. I think everyone's commenting on how beautiful your slides are and branding is. And I think what you didn't have time to share is how, this zero to hero story of yours, where you come from very humble backgrounds and to really become, someone who serves your own communities. You could have had a very traditionally successful career, a lucrative career, doing something else, but you really want to serve your own community. And I think that's the most inspiring part, and that really, really moves people. So thank you for being you and doing what you do. So thanks so much, Randy.
Thank you, Tomo. Appreciate that.
Okay. Now the third speaker is Van, and we're not sure if she will be able to join us, but it's such a pleasure and honor to see you, Van. So Van is a super businesswoman with severe disabilities who has developed an image editing business for people with disability. Van is a co-founder of the nonprofit organization The Will to Live, as well as chairwoman of a successful digital real estate company called ImageTour. So Van, welcome.
Hello everyone. I'm very happy because I can join talk with you today because I just got vaccine and it affects my body a little bit tired from yesterday until now. I will share my screen. Okay. ImageTour, this is our company, and I live in Vietnam and I run one organization and one company, and ImageTour is a company. So we focus to do video, 2D, 3D editing for international real estate company, like that. You can see like that. Okay. And one more activity is I forgot to Virtual Live Center. This Virtual Live Center is one NGO. We focus to training IT and independent living for people with disability. So until now, we're training more than 1,500 people with disability for free. And after study at the Virtual Live Center, they can work for international company or they can work for my company. A lot of people ask me why I do this kind of job, because if you search on internet, you will see in Vietnam we have more than 7 million people with disability, and almost of them no job, no income, and their life is so difficult. And I'm a disabled too, so I really understand how hard their life and what they had to face every day, every time. So I think I want to do something different, like use the technology to change my life and change their life. In my work, I feel that it really good because after they got job and they get high income, they totally change their mind. They more confident, they happy, and they can decide what they want to do. And I have many students, they after graduated and got good income, they married, they buy house, they buy car, and they support for other people too. And this kind of job can work from home too. So in the 2-year COVID, I can feel that it really not affect much to our student, because our student can work from home very easy. They just only need internet and computer, and they can do it. I don't know how to say. I just do it because I think it's really good for them, and I'm happy when I see the people like me, people with disability, they have a different future. They get more happy and they succeed. And with my business, it's very simple. My company do business and get income, get profit, and we use the profit to support for center. And center will training people with disability, training staff for the company. So it's a circle to support each other, and that's all. And when we have money, we support for other activity. And if you want to know more, you can see on our website, needsum.net, or image the company. We do many social activity and to help the people with disability and non-people with disability together. And yeah, thank you very much for listening. I hope not over time.
Thank you, Van. Thank you.
I'm over time or not?
I don't think you are. I think you were just under 5 minutes. So you
Do you
did.
want to share the photos that you asked me before?
Oh, you want to share your photos?
I have one photo you can show at the last. This is new. We just take it a week ago. This is my team. Okay, you can show it. Help me to show it. The last. Yeah. It's very new. My team. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Van. I mean, when we first heard your story in the Impact Hero interview process, I think last year, I think we were all in tears, just, you know, understanding what you've gone through in terms of, you know, biases and discrimination and even thoughts of suicide. And I know your medical condition is so severe that doctors didn't believe that you would actually make it beyond the age of 20 something. And to be alive is a miracle on its own. And on top of that, for you to be running 2 organizations, one successful business and another nonprofit to support people similar to you, I mean, it's just simply inspiration, and yeah, is a moving story. And if you know, if you can do this, then we should be able to do much more than what we're doing now. So thank you so much for what you stand for. And what you do, and really keep up the amazing work, and yeah, and also good health for many years to come.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Thank you. So next we have our final speaker for the first half. We have Muhammad Noor. He is an IT-based Rohingya activist using digital ID to help refugees without nationalities. A Rohingya himself, Noor is the founder and managing director of the Rohingya Project, a blockchain-based organization to bring financial and social inclusion to stateless people. So the floor is yours. Welcome, Noor.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for this great opportunity. And thank you, Tomo and Asta and the rest of the team to organize this. I will not be using slide, but I would like to tell a few things. Some of them would be very graphical. That's why I have not used. Unfortunately, just to give you a few examples, I was born stateless from Rohingya refugee families in the Middle East, where I myself has struggled so bad to just get in school or just to get a healthcare. So this is the life of every Rohingya or maybe every stateless around the world. So what is the reality of being stateless? I just want you to imagine that when you wake up in the morning, you have the fear of immigration that's getting arrested if you're outside Burma. If you are inside Burma, you have the fear of getting killed by the Buddhist extremists or by the junta military or by whoever they have the capacity to kill you. And if you manage to succeed and escape from Burma, you will be trafficked in Thailand, in Malaysia by the human smugglers, or you will be killed or tortured, buried in many different places. This is what has been happening for last 40 years of our life. Today, Rohingya is scattered in every part of the world, starting from Bangladesh. There are about 1.3 million people in Bangladesh who have no access. Education is a luxury for a Rohingya. Healthcare is a super luxury. We are far away from getting a birth certificate or a passport, or some people think of taking a passport, getting on a plane. We do not get on a plane. We're smuggled by the boats and by the trunk of cars. This is exactly what happened to Rohingya. You have seen the pictures of last couple of years where many thousands of people buried in a collective burial in the border of Bangladesh, in the border of Thailand and Malaysia and so on. And on top of that, the Rohingya has been persecuted back in Burma for the last 60 to 70 years for many different reasons, due strategic location, for resources, for many others, in many different ways, unfortunately. So I am being a Rohingya, not to work for the community is a sin, I guess, for me. So being a Rohingya, I've been working for the Rohingya community for the last 21 years, since I was, I cannot say I was in high school, but since I was, equivalent to high school where I've been studying. So since then, I have started many different projects. One of them is called Rohingya Vision, to tell the Rohingya side of the story to the world. It's considered the world first Rohingya television channel. And then I have also started a few other projects, Rohingya Football Club, to represent Rohingya, people around the world and bring some joy and happiness. And along with that, I have also started Rohingya archival project to archive all the atrocities and genocide that is happening, along with all the historical documents that the Rohingya have, that they are, disowning us from Myanmar. Along that, so I'm not going to go into all the details of the project. Maybe we can talk it separately. But most important that for the last 3 years, what I was thinking is to look for a solution for collectiveness, a collective issue of Rohingya. So today, Rohingyas are left with multiple boxes of issues. We are stateless, we are documentless, we have no access to education, we have no healthcare. Opening a bank account is beyond our reach. Having a SIM card today is getting more expensive. We are talking about poorness and all this. So today, having a SIM card is almost impossible for Rohingya people in Bangladesh and many other different countries due to documentation, due to all this regulation area. So getting access to internet is getting a luxury for a Rohingya now, unfortunately. So having said that, I have started this project called Rohingya Project, which is using technology such as a blockchain and building a platform to give access to Rohingya, find some sort of financial solution, some sort of financial inclusion, some sort of digital identity to identify themselves and get access to different services. Of course, today, many of them using as a cryptocurrency and so on. So our main target is not to use any kind of services that is, problematic for Rohingya, but we are using blockchain as a leverage because it's a decentralized, it's not centralized, because we are the community of centralized, we are the victim of the centralized institution, unfortunately. So what we are achieved so far is accessing different universities. We're doing some sort of research on how can we build a digital identity, a self-sovereign identity. Everyone talking about to have a passport. The problem happens is what happens if your government does not accept you as a citizen. What happens is nobody is willing to give you any document, including a birth certificate. Today, a father cannot prove that this is his son. A mother cannot prove that this is his son. People are being tortured because of this. Because of one single identity and document, people have been jailed for 7 years, 10 years, 20 years in different countries of Middle East, in Southeast Asia. So these are the Rohingya that is going through. So with this solution, we are hoping that to bring some sort of financial inclusion along with social using digital identities, such as using blockchain and so on. The project name is Rohingya project. You can Google it up, and the rest of the other projects is also there. So we have not achieved what we're supposed to achieve. During the pandemic, the project has slowed down, but we are now testing a lot of other things, including a project online, Art Academy, we call it. So this is to give education to Rohingya across the globe, because getting into an education system is almost impossible for a Rohingya. A community education institution is also difficult, because you need there's a regulated, you need license from education ministry of that particular country, and so on. And then if you manage to get a license through somebody else, then it cannot be sustained because of the funding and the rental and so on. So unfortunately, it falls through.
Okay,
so
no.
we hoping that to get this project to uplift Rohingya, and gives a sense of legitimacy for the Rohingya people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Noor. Thank you for sharing. I know you can go on for hours explaining to us, and we love and appreciate understanding the plights of your people. And yeah, and you definitely represent this generation of Rohingya who have gone through so much, and and trying to change that. And so we are, we get so much inspiration and passion from you, and thank you for doing all that you do. Good. So now we want to so that was the first half of the presentations. I know many of you have found them inspiring, and a lot of you are probably understanding why we do what we do now. These really one-of-a-kind change makers who are dedicating their lives to make this world a better place. And so actually we were hoping that we would get the opening remarks from Mr. Takashi Inoue, and now he has joined us. And so we welcome him to give a few words from the perspective of the WPE Foundation. Inoue-san, dozo.
Hi, Tom and Asuka, and hi, everyone. I'm Takashi Inoue, CEO of Life. Life is company name, and a board member of the Wellbeing for Planet Earth Foundation. My vision of life is human well-being and world peace. The foundation and the Earth Company work together to create a better future. The Wellbeing Foundation aims to realize a well-being society that includes not only humans, but also the Earth. I've heard stories from many impact heroes, and I've had a big impact on myself. I truly respect you for your passion and challenge. I truly respect Tomo and Asuka who support such people with all their lives. We will continue to support your actions. Thank you.
Inoue-san. Oh. Thank you so much, Inoue-san, for those kind words. Yeah, we've known Inoue-san for some time now. And we got to know him better. And he told us one time that he's planning on living at least 150 years. And his life purpose is really to create world peace. And how many, CEOs of big companies, do you meet with, that kind of a crazy vision and meaning, in life? And we really love that. And we have so much in common in terms of what we envision for the future. And we're really grateful for this opportunity to have this summit and yeah, to create opportunities for us to get to know each other. So thank you so much, Inoue-san.
Thank you very much.
Yep. So yeah, now that we're done with the first half of the presentations, we're hoping to hear from some of the participants. If you guys have any comments, feedback, anything to share, could be a question. I know some of you have been pretty active in commenting in the chat box. If there's anyone who are willing to say a few words, be very welcome.
I saw Irma nodding her head and giving a lot of heart marks in her small window. Do you want to share what you're feeling, Irma?
This is the end of my very full working day, but hearing these stories from these amazing people, it gives a boost of energy for me. So thank you very, very much for what all of you've been doing to the world and to other people. And you're such an inspiration. And yeah, so thank you very much for being a great, great example.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Irma. You get a big thumbs up from your husbands, which is what you need, right? Jackie, do you want to share anything, Jackie?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think for me, the key thing is it's just so refreshing to see the diversity, but at the same time, everyone is so different, but they share such an authentic passion for their purpose and what they're trying to do. So I'm almost getting teary because you can tell how much everyone really cares about what they're doing. And I can tell just hearing the story now that this is just the beginning, for everybody. It's just the very, very beginning of their journey. So thank you so much for bringing everyone together. I feel very privileged to be here.
Oh, thank you. Maybe just one more. Maybe Carol, do you want to share? And then we'll go to the second half.
I'm also feeling so inspired and feeling so lucky to be here listening to these stories today and feeling that they are just, it fills my heart and it's just amazing. Thank you, Tomo and Asuka, for putting these people together and for bringing us here tonight. I'm really grateful to be here listening to these stories, and it's gonna keep me thinking for many hours, many years, maybe.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you so much. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for those words, everyone. I think we're getting ready for the next 5 presenters, but I think these 5 presenters is going to keep you thinking a lot for the next years, maybe.
Decades.
Decades even. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the first presenter for the second half of the session is Patima. She comes from Thailand. So she is a daring human rights activist nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, who has rescued over 5,000 slaves from fishing boats in Thailand. So Patima established the Labor Protection Network in 2004 to promote the labor's quality of life and fight against child labor, human trafficking, and all forms of exploitation. And so she's here with us today, but she feels more confident communicating her vision in her own language, Thai. And so she kindly sent us a video with subtitles in English. So we're going to play that video. Go ahead, Fatima. Thank you.
Hello.
สวัสดีค่ะ Hello everyone. My name Patima Tang Pachakul. I work at LPN Labor Protection Network Foundation. LPN ตั้งมาตั้งแต่ปี 2004 นะคะ เราทำงานช่วยเหลือและต่อต้านการค้ามนุษย์ช่วยเหลือเด็กไม่ให้เป็นแรงงานเด็ก สิ่งที่เราทำแล้วก็ตั้งคำถามกับคนทั่วโลกหลังจากที่เราได้ปลดปล่อยทาสยุคใหม่ในอุตสาหกรรมประมงทะเลลูกเรือประมงที่ได้รับการช่วยเหลือจากประเทศอินโดนีเซีย 5,000 คนทำให้เราพยายามที่จะตั้งคำถามหรือให้ทุกคนที่บริโภคอาหารทะเลคิดเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของการบริโภคอาหารทะเลว่าอาหารทะเลนั้นถูกเราจะแน่ใจได้ไงว่ามันไม่ได้ถูกจับมาด้วยทาสสิ่งนี้ก็คือเป็นความพยายามที่เราจะสร้างความเท่าเทียมกันให้กับแรงงานข้ามชาติทั้งประเทศไทยเนี่ยมีแรงงานข้ามชาติที่มาจากพม่าลาวกัมพูชาแล้วก็อีกหลายๆคนที่เป็นแรงงานราคาถูกเราอยากให้เกิดความเท่าเทียมกันแล้วก็ไม่ให้มีแรงงานเด็กเกิดขึ้นเด็กทุกคนควรได้รับการศึกษาได้รับการดูแลอย่างเท่าเทียมทีนี้เราได้ทำอะไรบ้างเราก็เข้าไปช่วยเขากลุ่มที่อยู่ในสถานการณ์เลวร้ายหรือทาสเราก็ไปช่วยเขาปลดปล่อยออกมาให้ปลอดภัยแล้วเราก็ลงพื้นที่เพื่อช่วยเหลือให้ความรู้กับกลุ่มคนต่างๆเป็นแรงงานในทุกสัญชาติเราได้มีปฏิบัติการในทางด้านมนุษยธรรมมอบสิ่งของมอบรวมทั้งมอบโอกาสให้เด็กที่เป็นกลุ่มเปราะบางได้เรียนหนังสือเมื่อได้เข้าร่วมกับ Impact Company หรือ Impact Hero เนี่ยคือจริงๆรู้สึกขอบคุณแล้วก็รู้สึกซาบซึ้งที่เราได้เข้าไปอยู่ในกลุ่มเครือข่ายนี้ได้ตั้งคำถามกับการทำงานของเราได้ตั้งคำถามมากขึ้นว่าจริงๆแล้วเรากำลังทำงานเพื่อใครเพื่ออะไรแล้วถ้าให้คิดต่อไปว่าอีก50 ปีอีก100 ปีเราอยากให้ลูกหลานของเราพูดถึงเราว่าอย่างไรเราจะดูแลทรัพยากรธรรมชาติสิ่งแวดล้อมหรือแม้แต่เพื่อนมนุษย์ด้วยกันยังไงอันนี้มันเป็นชุดคำถามมากมายที่เกิดขึ้นจากการที่ได้เข้าร่วมกับ Impact Company นะคะแล้วก็สิ่งที่เราคิดกับมันหรือได้ทำในภารกิจต่างๆของเราเนี่ยเราฝันว่าเราอยากเห็นสังคมที่เท่าเทียมกันเราอยากเห็นคนที่เท่าเทียมกันเราอยากเห็นคนที่อ่อนโยนและเคารพกับธรรมชาติจริงๆแล้วเมื่อเราคิดถึงคนที่เป็นลูกหลานของเรามากขึ้นเนี่ย Impact Company ทำให้เรามีเพื่อนทำให้เรามีเครือข่ายเราก็คิดว่าเครือข่ายเนี้ยมันน่าจะเติบโตหรือขยายไปเพิ่มมากขึ้นเพื่อเราจะได้ทำเรื่องดีๆสิ่งที่เราควรจะมีหรือทำงานร่วมกันก็คือว่าเราควรมีการแบ่งปันสังคมที่มันพูดถึงเรื่องการแบ่งปันสังคมที่พูดถึงเรื่องของการให้อภัยการดูแลกันสิ่งที่เราต้องอ่อนโยนต่อธรรมชาติและการเริ่มต้นใหม่มันยังไม่สายถ้าเราจะทำอะไรเพื่อลูกหลานของเราในอีก50 ปีในอีก100 ปีข้างหน้าวันนี้ไม่ได้คิดเพื่อตัวเองแล้วก็ไม่ได้ทำงานคนเดียวก็ขอบคุณมากที่ได้ให้โอกาสและพื้นที่ในการพูดคุยแม้ว่าเราจะมีข้อจำกัดหรือมีกำแพงในเรื่องของภาษา Impact Company ก็ให้โอกาสเราในการได้สื่อสารพูดคุยแบ่งปันเรื่องราวดีๆขอบคุณมากค่ะ Thank you
Well, thank you so much, Fatima, for that video. It was really amazing. Before we move on to the next person, maybe we can hear just a few words from you, if that's okay. You can talk in Thai, and maybe you can ask your translator to translate if that's possible.
ครับพี่อ้อนเชิญเลยครับเดี๋ยวพี่อ้อนจะพูดอะไรสักนิดนึงไหมครับเดี๋ยวพี่อ้อนพูดเป็นภาษาไทยก็ได้แล้วเดี๋ยวผมช่วยแปลให้ครับพี่อ้อน
พูดประมาณไหนอะ
ก็อะไรก็ได้พี่อ้อนอยากจะพูดอะไรสักนิดนึงไหมครับพี่
แล้วว่าพื้นที่เนี้ยมันเป็นพื้นที่ที่ดีเนาะแล้วก็เป็นความคิดริเริ่มในการที่จะได้แชร์เรื่องราวดีๆทำให้มันคืออย่างน้อยการเข้าร่วมมันก็ทำให้มีกำลังใจในการทำงานต่อ
Okay. She said that she thinks this space is a very good space and that it is a very good initiative and at least it can encourage her to work further or to do the good thing in the future.
Thank you so much, Fatima. In one of the slides that you had in the video, I read that one of the key takeaways from this program to you was importance of having friends and colleagues in tackling world issues, right? And I hope that this program is really providing you with that space, that safe space. And this not just you guys change makers, but like us and other members that are joining today, they are just as passionate about solving problems in the world. And I hope that you feel you have our support, and we're so inspired by your work. And I think other points that you made in that slide was also just as awesome. You talked about the impact of leaving the world that you can really pass on to your children, how your children would talk about you in the future, and also being compassionate to not only the world but to you as well, right? I mean, doing what you do, saving slaves, I mean, I don't know what kind of I don't know what it takes to do that, but I'm very thankful that you do the work that you do, because who knows, we could be contributing to that problem by eating seafood that that might have been caught by the slaves that you might be working with. So thank you so much for doing the work that you do. Thank you. All right, the next person is Pai. He's also from Thailand. He's a promising youth saving Thai villages from poverty through sustainable tourism. He's an Ashoka Fellow and the founder and CEO of Local Alike, a social enterprise building an online platform to connect travelers and locals through meaningful and authentic experiences. As a social enterprise, Local Alike uses community-based tourism as a form of development tool to solve local issues, preserve local culture, and generate additional income to local communities. Here we have Pai.
Good evening from Thailand, everyone. Please allow me to take over the screen. Everyone hear me well? I'm happen to be in a community with limited access to the internet. So Localite has been around for 10 years that I started Localite as a social enterprise with the vision that I really want to make sure that tourism in Thailand can play an important role on uplifting community well-being through sustainable tourism. That is what I really want to do. The big reason that why I created Localite is that because of my personal story as well, that I grew up very poor in a small village in the northeast of Thailand. We have with limited access to economic opportunities and limited education. We have always been questioned whether we can sustain ourselves in the long run, or whether we can grow up and have a good opportunity for ourselves. And I take that as a one of the challenge that for me that I decided to one of my very first goal is to get my family out of poverty. I decided to be a laborer since I was 10 years old, trying to save a lot of monies and trying to go to school with the higher education as possible. And luckily that I have achieved that by myself, and luckily that I was able to take care of my family. So that's why lead to what Localite has been doing now is that we want to use tourism as a tool for creative change. So for take an example on the one of the Hill Tribe village that I started with 10 years ago. This village has a lot of tourists visiting, 2,000 visitors a year, but they actually spend nothing. The people that the company that they spend to is the tour companies, but the company spend nothing back to the village, and they always promote that as ecotourism or sustainable tourism. I think that this kind of practice shouldn't happening in Thailand anymore. That's why I created Localite. So Localite, we do 5 things. We start by develop people first to make sure that the local villages they are capable of doing their tourism business. After people are ready, we help them develop business and help them develop their facilities. And also when they are ready, technology come into play, that we also bring in technologies. And last but not least, we also develop sustainable, taking care of environment and society in the village by the mechanism of income from tourism. Localite has been around, I think we came up with the first brand, Localite, which is selling tour packages to local communities. From local community to tourists around the world. Because of COVID, now we came up with 2 new business model, which is local Aroy. Aroy mean delicious, and local a lot mean many things, right? So Aroy and Arot serve as a platform and also an organization that working specifically on local food and also local product. So this is the results of our work. We have around almost 600 packages tour that we sell around the world. To people around the world. We have almost like 55,000 travelers visiting, and this is some of the sample of the village that we work with. Going back to Loyo village, the village that I mentioned earlier. This is the history of the long kind of way of working together with the villagers, but the result of it is that like now this village is very famous now from being travel from being take advantage from tour operator. Now they can stand up on their own, and this is the impact in terms of economic that they have been working with us so far. The income is increasing year by year, and now it's they reach to the million Thai baht. So, but the most important thing that we wanted to make sure it happened is that they use the money to solve a problem that have an impact on their livelihood. They use the money from tourism to build a better infrastructure, to set up a waste management, a proper waste management system. This is what we mean by using tourism as a development tool. So moving forward from the program that I have joined Impact Hero, I realized that moving forward, local communities, they are capable enough to run their own, not just like community tourism, but they can actually operate in the term of social enterprise. This is what we moving forward with local communities partner that we are working with. And as a role of Localite, people always know us as a social community development. And we also realize that with our good work of development, if we cannot make money, if we cannot generate income for them, the problem that the solution that we provide might not be sustainable. We have to accelerate ourselves to be a good marketing and good PR, a salesperson for local communities as well. And moving next, we really want to make sure that we can invest in certain things that have an impact on local community. We want to move forward with being an investor for local community social enterprise as well. This is what about Localite, and this is what I'm doing now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pai, for that presentation. Yeah, I still remember the time that we interviewed you in the interview process for the Impact Heroes Award. You were telling us that when you were a little child, you couldn't you come from a very humble background, and your parents are working outside of your community. So, you were raised by your grandparents, and you were going to school barefooted, right? Just hearing you talk today and, seeing what you do, it's hard to imagine you were that kid, some time ago, 20, 30 years ago. So I'm really, I'm so inspired by your work and, how you made this happen. Tourism is such an important factor in many parts of Asia, and it really needs to be shifted to a more sustainable, conscious model. And it's pretty much the same in Bali as well, and unless we make that happen, things are not going to get better for most local communities in tourism dependent countries. So, I'm very thankful for what you do. Thank you so much, Pai.
Bye.
All right, now we're moving on to Sri Lanka. Ara. Ara is a former refugee and a talented innovator matching social issues with young leaders. He's a devoted social entrepreneur empowering underprivileged communities in war-affected regions of Sri Lanka by creating an intellectual livelihood to solve local socioeconomic and environmental challenges. Go ahead, Ara.
Hi, can you allow me to share the screen, please? I thought Kirsten is joining in between. Yeah, anyway. Is it allowed? Oh, yeah, okay. 1 second. Yeah. So, okay, let me start my timer. Hi, everyone, and thanks for this opportunity. I think you have heard a lot of stories which are similar in many ways, and I would love to tell also why I do what I do. And as everyone, it has something to do with our personal story. So I was born in a time in Sri Lanka where several people in my family were killed as a collateral damage, and I grew up in the war zone. The longer the war, the younger the soldier situation arrived. And so when I was 14 years old, I was forced to be a child soldier, and we were only few people left in the family. So we escaped the country. I ended up as a child, a stateless refugee in India, away from the family. All of us ended up in different places. And at the time, it was, like as Noor mentioned, that I didn't have people didn't allow me to school, and people didn't give me a place to live. The first year I went, I was thrown out of by 9 houses, and no bank account, no address, nothing, And at that age, I decided that I'm the only one who can solve my challenges. So there's no other people going to come and help me, because I was away from the family also. I was alone. So and the war, the time as in India was is very difficult, and 10 years have gone, and the war ended, and I was able to go back to Sri Lanka, and I saw that 3 decades of civil war in the country caused a huge impact on our socioeconomic environmental ecosystem, and we have every international NGO based in the country, but they couldn't solve the problem sustainably. So I thought that, okay, I would love to help those people like me who have gone through the same challenges and uplift them. The only way to uplift them is to empower them to solve the local challenges. As you can see, the country has a lot of challenges in economic and to environment that we are losing till now. We are losing 400 elephants a year by human-wild elephant conflict, biggest number in the world. And so in 2013, we started as a peace building organization with my co-founder Kishore. And then later in 2018, we decided, okay, we need to convert this organization into another, which to solve these complex challenges, not only specific part of every 17 sustainable development goals, and we really want to tackle all of them, but one by one. And for that, we created Dream Space Academy through education, innovation, and sustainable organization to empower the underserved communities in the war-affected regions of Sri Lanka. So our organization itself, we have a perfect balance between our social mission and our business venture, because we really don't want to be just purely dependent on someone's money. So we could generate that cash flow from our business venture to sustain our social mission. And in that, today I'm going to tell more about personalized empowerment, which we call Dream Space Lifecycle, which is kind of a change maker building process, which is around 2 years. So I'll go with the story. So we discover these candidates when they are like 16, 17 years old from the vulnerable societies. And to empower a child in the global south, you need to first empower their parents. So with that process, we take them out of their families, and it's almost like an adoption. And with the only thing that we look at these candidates, that they have the motivation to solve social and environmental challenge. Once we take them out and we bring into our incubation where we have co-living, and we have to accommodate them, we have to feed them, we have to take care of everything for them. But every candidate comes with their own challenge. Some come from the ocean with the ocean related challenge, some come from the jungle, some come from like, poverty, some come from like, inclusion, different issues. Based on the challenge we train, that's why we call challenge-based learning. It's not subject-based or project-based learning. It's a challenge-based learning. It's completely uninstitutional, learning. And in that process, they learn everything from storytelling, peace building to electronics, mechanics, nanotechnology, biotechnology. We have around 14 labs. We will cover the interdisciplinary so that they know that they can solve one challenge in multiple different ways, not by one way. So and the next stage, what we do based on the challenge, and we try to find a grassroots innovation. For example, this is a candidate Sanjeevan who has been building an underwater glider to look at what's happening underwater in our region, because we have a lot of biodiversity loss, and so that's how the grassroots innovation is created. And the next stage, we actually send them, amplify their domain knowledge. For example, the underwater glider that we have been built, we built is €2,000, and then the international product is €200,000. So in a community like us, it won't be possible to build that. And finally, what we do is we build the candidate, and then we graduate the candidate as a change maker. Currently, Sanjeevan is 20 years old. He has his own organization called Ocean Biome, where there are more than 20 youngsters working with him in a country like Sri Lanka, where they if you study oceanology, either become a clerk in a bank. So with this way, we are not only building change maker, but we are also building industries which would mature in 10, 20 years. And this is what we see as a regenerative futures. So I really want to quickly go through a few other things. And we have uplifted more than 500 youngsters, and we have spun off more than 14 startups from there. And Sanjeevan is not the only candidate. We have a lot of other candidates in everything from nanotechnology, recycled products, and AI, and biocomposite material. We have multiple labs, everything from electronics to biotechnology, non-technical and technical. We have a lot of international experts go there and work with us and stay there. And as I said, we are not only limited, we are like a team of 70 people, internal and external. We are not limited to only one thing. We have a dedicated team doing dedicated things. Not everyone's doing everything. So in women empowerment, rural, and all those things. These are some of the initiative startups which were born, and we have been winning a lot of awards and a lot of recognition internationally, not yet nationally. And this is a team, I really want to quickly say that, and it's a small team. And we are one of the organization in the war-affected region of Sri Lanka where every ethnic group, religious group is working together, because this is a true peace building for us. We have been bringing them together by passion for innovation to solve challenges, not by just because they are, different group of people. And we have a lot of international subject matter experts supporting us in everything from aerospace to biotechnology. So how can you be part of our story? Many ways you can be part, personal engagement, project collaborations, or you can just say, empower us. And we have been also building something like Mana, but for innovations to incubate innovators, local and international innovators. And so if you want to be part of our mission to co-create dreams of those underserved communities, not only in Sri Lanka, we also have interests around the world, and we welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yara. You're such a well-spoken change maker. We're always amazed by your talks every time I hear you. Yeah, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. You speak very well. It was very clear what you do, and I think it's amazing how you you're a self-made entrepreneur, and when we say self-made, it's a different story for you. When you became a child stateless refugee, you had to solve your own problems as a child. That's crazy, but I think all the experience and skills that you cultivated over the years as a stateless child, I think it's really helping you do what you do now. And yeah, I can really see, you know, as an accelerator ourselves, and some of the participants today, they're accelerators as well, but I think we can see that this could be a very effective way to support change makers and to raise change makers. I can really see, you know, some of these change makers are really going to change the future of the next generations in your country. So I'm just truly inspired. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So next we're moving on to Indonesia. Arif, with bamboo in the background. So as you can see, he's a bamboo master. He's a second generation bamboo master who commits to instigate a paradigm shift in the world's timber industry by replacing wood with bamboo. So he's the president and director of Indonesia Environmental Bamboo Foundation and the founder of the 1000 Bamboo Villages project, which aims to create economic viability for the use of bamboo agroforestry to sequester CO2 and restore degraded tropical forest lands in dozens of countries, including Indonesia and 9 other countries. He's really trying to tackle some of the most pressing issues in the world, including climate change, deforestation, poverty, and gender inequality. Go ahead, Arif.
Hey, Arif.
Thank you, friends.
Bamboo master.
Unfortunately, in 5 minutes, I don't know if I can prove that I'm a bamboo master, but thank you for the opportunity, friends from Earth Company. And yeah, it's a real honor to be here with all these amazing pioneers. And, you know, I'm definitely a pioneer in my own right, but as Aska was saying, you know, I'm a second generation pioneer that actually got to learn from my dear mother, who was very much like you all, really trying to piece together a lot of this first step. And so here's to the generational response, and may you be able to seed, you know, either in your children, like with me, or many others, to like follow in your vision, and God bless. But yeah, for the bamboo story and the bamboo village vision, you know, here in Indonesia, there's 88 million hectares of degraded land and 24 million inside state forest land. And we have been working with the Ministry of Environment and Forestry to create these systems that we call bamboo villages, which is basically 2,000 hectares of land that we plant a third with these things behind me, with the big Spartan bamboo propagules that we plant on degraded lands. And then that's the shallow root, and we plant medium root species and deep root species in a bamboo-based agroforestry system, because actually we don't believe in bamboo. We believe in bamboo villages, and bamboo villages are agroforestry systems where you have value addition at the village level, and you have a forest to factory integrated system, which, as Aska said, you know, you have man and wife actively working in the in this forest to factory system. And so, you know, my role as a regenerative leader, I think in the end is really to help the world to find one more way to grow soil and to grow watersheds, places that can hold water in that soil. And, you know, we talk about, you know, you have slow food. Well, we have slow water that we create in these landscapes, right? And a knitted hydrology of these short, medium, and deep root species. The bamboo being a giant grass that is basically one of the best things in the world to suck up running by runoff water, trap it into this sponge. If we had time, I would do a bamboo yoga with you all, and pull in that water, and then basically that water slowly infiltrates down and is the foundation of this productivity of, you know, now 2 billion hectares of degraded land around the world, which is a 2 billion hectare opportunity. And so, may we all work together to find the ways to grow soil and grow water in our landscapes, because it's a big challenge for our generation, for the millennial generation, and especially for the Gen Z generation, because unfortunately still a lot of soil and a lot of water is still going in the wrong direction. So, my role also has been iterating, and I think the most inspiring thing that I've been working on this year is working with 350 women champions that have about 10 women behind them, so about 3,500 to 4,000 women in the province of East Nusa Tenggara to create 2.8 million bamboo babies. Not as big as these ones back here. That takes about 2 or 3 years, but little 30 to 50 centimeter high bamboo babies, which then we will put into what we call a cocoon nursery and then grow it, because you can't plant a little baby bamboo on degraded lands. It will die. This is a very important lesson that took us far too long to learn. And so you need these nice big Spartans to be able to take the dry seasons of those first few years as the bamboo is creating its rhizomic network. And then once the rhizomic network of the bamboo is strong, it's a family that can take it on. And you cannot plant just one bamboo. You cannot plant 500 bamboo. You need to plant hundreds of thousands of bamboo strategically in a bamboo-based agroforestry system to be able to restore these physical landscapes, the social landscape, and the economic landscape. So that's my story. Thank you very much for the opportunity. May we all work together to restore the degraded lands of the future and create restoration economies. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Arif. I love your talks, as usual. Your talk is always so much, full of so much love for bamboo. Yeah, I'm always amazed by, how to save the world from just big things like climate change and, deforestation, those things, can be very little things as, addressing life, going back to our roots, not just bamboo roots, but going back to our human roots, and really forests are the lungs of the earth, and really what you're doing is to address life, how we sustain our lives, so I think it's really, really important what you do. And I think what you're trying to do is to really make the breakthrough innovation, cutting edge breakthrough innovation in the whole timber industry, and if you don't change that, then it's really jeopardizing the future of our children, not just our children, but us ourselves as well. So it's really important stuff that what you're doing. So yeah, thank you so much for what you do, and yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. So we were supposed to have one more presenter, Kristen Kagetsu. I don't think she's able to join us today. She's attending this UN conference, and she was really trying to make time for this occasion, but it doesn't look like that's possible, unfortunately. So we're going to have to introduce her to you guys some other time. But so for today, that's all for all the presentations from the Changemakers. And we would love to hear some comments from the participants, if that's possible, if there's anyone who's dying to say something.
Abby, I know you've been quite active in the chat box. Do you want to share your comments, Abby, if you can come on video? Oh, hi, Abby. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I've got a child foot behind me, so I've been putting myself, hiding my video. But I've been super inspired by everyone everyone's talk. And it just reminds me that there's so many different issues out there, but it's super inspiring that there's so many great people out there working on these challenges in so many different ways. And a lot of them resonate with me, having lived in Thailand and working in the makerspace and things like that. So I really love hearing about these stories. Thank you for putting this on, and I would love to follow up with some of these speakers afterwards.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what we love to see, more collaboration. So thanks, Abby. Anyone else? Layla, Samir, Rich.
I'll go, Tomo.
Hi, Layla.
Hi, Tomo. Hi, Oscar. Hi, everyone from Cape Town in Africa. I've just been reflecting on this session and so thankful for having been invited and quite humbled by everything I've heard. For a bit of background, I've been working on the COVID-19 response across our continent, so Africa, for the past, well, I don't know, COVID time is a little bit different from ordinary time. So I guess February, March last year. And it's just been so incredibly inspiring to hear these stories and really get to understand that in as much as there are different issues and different problems around the world that are unique to particular countries, what's common for all of us is just this incredible spirit of wanting to help and wanting to fix things. And I think Oscar made a very good point earlier around what does it mean to invoke this concept of friendship, and I'd extend that even further in terms of solidarity across the world, so that we can ensure that change makers like these, who are so inspiring, get to be supported and are also able to inspire others. So I'm thinking hard, Tomo and Oscar, around what does this mean, not just from an Asia perspective, but from an Africa perspective too. So just deeply thankful and grateful to have been able to listen and learn, and hopefully one day be able to contribute.
Oh, thank you so much for your kind words, Layla. Oh, so good to see you. Ito Ken-san, どうぞ。
Hi, Tomo-san, thank you for your invitation and the very inspiring presentations. And something I want to share my feeling on this, and some like keywords kind of like was like let me think about what we're trying to do. So to introduce myself, I'm working for LBPN, but at the same time I'm working for the consultancy on the impact assessment. And recently I found there's some common patterns of the questions from my clients. They want to identify the social impact, but behind that, they are trying to identify how the people can transform. So that the one key phrase I have deep impression today is that the willingness, the will to live, right? So I think that is the key factor of all different foundations, corporates, impact investors trying to identify. So in rural, part of the developing countries, at least the aid agencies trying to like inspire the willingness to live of rural farmers. In the developed country like Japan, we are trying to inspire the people, like old people's willing to live in the like elderly homes. So I think that is, I'm very interested in what's happening in this in the center that this Vietnamese lady is learning, and if we have some like insight that what the programs like essential key factors to inspire the people's the PWDs willing to live, I think that will be the big insight for us, which we can apply in no matter what context, what country context, what cultural context. So that, and also that I'm very interested in this dream. What's the
Dream Academy?
Yeah, Dream Academy. So I'm witness that similar kind of like how to say the integrated like learning facilities, and I think we can draw some like a hypothesis that what kind of combination can be like have synergy each other, and seeing that there's so many different curriculums, like different program components. I think there's a lot, of the potentialities we can how to say that, dig into. So thank you very much for the wonderful presentation.
Oh, great. Thank you, Ken-san. I know you're always thinking about how can we replicate social innovation from a specific geography to other geographies or to multiple geographies. So
right.
I love that perspective, and yeah, I'm sure there's so many insights that we can glean from all these these eight and nine presentations. So yeah, let's
I'm always trying to think that how we can market these these projects to different donors and investors.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken-san. Sorry, sir. I just thanks, and let's connect. I sent you a message already yesterday, but yeah, let's connect after this also. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. Maybe go to Micah. Do you want to share your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you, Tomo, and thank you for the invitation. I was invited via the bridge, and I love to hear these social enterprises. I thought I'm reflecting now on the stories I've heard, and I saw some similarities to the story. So first, always like a personal motivation, and I'm really happy that you shared it so openly with us tonight. And then second and third, I think it's always about dreaming big. Your goals are enormous, but I think if your goal doesn't scare you, right, it's not a good goal. So I'm happy to hear that. And then all of you have just step-by-step approach to reach towards that goal. And for me, as a social enterprise on electric mobility in Bali, it's super inspiring. And I also thought the word that I take away from tonight is challenge-based education. And I think that all of you basically are challenge-based, like learning every day, right? And then towards your goal, getting rid of all the challenges and reach it. So thank you for your inspiration.
Great, thank you, Micah. It's great to have you, and interact with all these amazing people. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. So we're gonna change the plans a little bit. We're gonna actually do breakout rooms, but given the lack of time and also the great momentum that we have with all these participants sharing their comments, we're just gonna continue that for a little bit longer and then just do a closing. So if we can just maintain this arrangement, that would be great. So next, I know Samir, my friend, is calling in. Yes.
First of all, thank you and Aska and then other friends at Earth Company and all the change makers today. Wonderful, really. I'm feeling inspired and motivated. Every single good things, right? So, but two things that I noticed that just stayed with me in all the stories. First, of course, how you turned your adversity into something wonderful, that you trying to make a change in your communities. That is very inspiring. And working with local communities, making a difference on the ground, that of course cuts across almost everyone's work. The other one that I noticed, and I felt particularly sort of encouraged to see, that is the use of technology and innovation and the work that you're doing, because there's so much that we could do with technology, because it's becoming cheaper, more accessible. And I'm really glad that you're using that to benefit people who need it the most, because when we hear of technology, we hear the big sort of Silicon Valley stories, but that's not what we need to really change the lives of many. So thank you. Really wonderful. And I'm so glad you invited me to this. Time well spent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samir. Yeah, I knew you would enjoy these stories, so I'm glad you did. Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else want to share? Matt, are you able to come on video or on audio? Are you there? or Jen or Punit? I'm just like cold calling people. I feel like a professor in class. Maybe not.
Hi, it's Jessica.
Oh, hi, Jessica. Thank you
Hi.
for joining. Yeah.
Yeah, I wear two hats. So not only am I coming in from the bridge, but I'm also an investor with the World Bank Group and International Finance Corporation. And not only are these stories amazing and so inspirational, and I've taken notes on everyone, and I will go and research everyone and what they're doing and really want to learn more. Can't wait to watch the movie. But one of the things that's, really striking me is so many of these are sustainable in that they're commercially viable business models, technologically enabled, but these are things that will be sustainable in and of their own rights. And I think that's important, and that's an important concept for folks to kind of consider. How do these endeavors, how do these efforts live on? And so it's really good to hear that there's so much work that's been done by many of the heroes here that really thinking of how do you create sustainable and viable business propositions, investment propositions, and then that lead to sustainable, results for your community and social impact at the same time. But I'm really heartened by that. It's something that a lot of folks that would come and support what you're doing will look to and would really be pleased to support given that aspect. So I'm happy to talk to anyone about some of the business models that we've heard today, but really encouraged by that. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure many people would want to follow up with you. So yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Sorry, Tomo, can you hear me at all?
Yeah. Hey, Matt.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in the mountains, so I think the internet's really dodgy. But I can I just wanted to quickly say, like, everything was, I can hear all the stories and see the amazing images and content that you guys have been collating, and it's really inspiring. Like everyone said, it's just really good news to hear that after all the craziness of the last 18 months. So well done on putting it together, and I'm really looking forward to doing what we kind of talked about when we're building. You guys are building Manor, and just actually having an amazing get together with all these kinds of people. I think the synergies of putting them together and actually having some decent capital to actually scale, as well as just the different ideas of putting the Dream Academy next to like the bamboo villages and all of the different just examples of things like that, when you have those brains working together in the same sort of hemisphere and being able to pull together really dynamic solutions to the problems that we all face. So I thank you again for inviting me. It's really inspiring to watch it all, and I think that what we will try to do in our little way is just to collate and listen to everything and bring our lessons and try to add some value at pulling them together and hopefully being able to scale some of those into commercializable ideas, which potentially governments and other organizations which are drowning in debt at the moment will be able to see as an opportunity to invest capital in, rather than just falling back to traditional welfare-based solutions for social problems and environmental sort of band-aids. So yeah, thank you again.
Great. Thank you, Matt. And I'm so glad you could join us, even though we can't see you. I mean, from the day we met, you absolutely love all the Impact Hero stories. And so I knew we had to get you and Beck in this summit. Just so glad you can make it. And yeah, if there are ways for us to collaborate even more, that would be amazing. Just for your information, Matt's foundation, the Pure Foundation, is actually one of the impact investors to our hotel, Mana Earthly Paradise. And so, yeah, very much value aligned partner doing this social business together. So yeah, amazing guy, amazing team that you should all hopefully get connected to. Jen, do you want to share your thoughts? I know it's our first time meeting you, but yeah.
Absolutely. Hello. And I just wanted to second that on Matt and Beck. They're just incredible human beings. That's the reason I am here. So thank you again for the invitation, and thank you for hosting as well, Tomo and everyone else. This is just been absolutely incredible. And I second what Matt said. It's exactly what we all needed after the year we have had, to hear these incredible stories. And I just wanted to congratulate all of the speakers and also you guys as well for putting this on. I mean, I consult in with some, you would say they were meant to be like, you know, serious corporates at very senior executive levels that have not been able to pull off the things that you guys have all pulled off with the lack of resources and whatever adversity that you guys are facing. I'm just blown away. And I'm going to go and tell all of them tomorrow about you guys when they start complaining to me about why things are too hard and they don't have enough money and all that sort of stuff, because you're all an absolute inspiration. I wish the whole world knew about your stories. I will certainly do my part to tell your stories on my behalf and also what you guys are doing. And if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. As you said, like, you know, people like Matt and Beck, they're just magnets for other amazing people. So congratulations to everyone. So inspiring. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jen. I knew when we asked Matt and Beck, you know, whether they have any recommendations of people to invite to this, their first person was you, and we knew that you would be amazing. So thank you for joining us and sharing this positive energy. And yeah, please tell all your executive friends to.
I will.
Yeah,
should be embarrassed.
Yeah. To do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Okay, anyone else? Ayaka-san, do you want to share anything? If you can come on camera, or Tim or Kevin.
Hi.
Hi, Ayaka-san.
Hi. Thank you very much for this invitation. This is really the first time that I was exposed to all these heroes, and it's really inspirational. So all the things that I wanted to say has already been said. But then in addition to what everybody has said, I just wanted to say that, you know, especially the time that is so difficult for anyone because of the COVID, they could really, you know, survive and then really ride the wave and then pivoted their strategy. I remember that the first entrepreneur, she mentioned about them pivoting their strategy and then come out with different products or strategy, as well as that person from Thailand. He also came up with local Arroy and a lot. Yeah, that's an incredible flexibility, and then also the resilience that they have. So I just wanted to congratulate all of those entrepreneurs. And then also another thing is that, you know, you guys could really bring so many great people. So that's, you know, hats to you, really. You're a magnet. Obviously you have the positive energy to really spread around. So I'm sure that, you know, that really bring all those, you know, good candidates to you as well. So please keep up with your good work.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ayaka-san. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you on the, you know, ability of these social entrepreneurs to be able to pivot during the pandemic. You know, that's not an easy feat. So yeah, Sagufta, Pai, and everyone else, amazing job. So now we're coming to the end, and definitely wanted to invite our good friend Chris Thompson to share some words of wisdom, just some reflections from the last couple of hours with us, if you can.
Okay, am I unmuted? I think I'm.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you know, thank you to Tomo and Asuka, because you're just, I mean, I tell you this every time I see you, so you're probably sick of hearing it from me, but you guys are just great people and doing such great things. And I love the fact that you've gone from having one impact hero to now trying to support all the finalists, you know, in the program. And I've had the pleasure of being able to meet, you know, almost all of the impact heroes over the years, and the stories are, I'd say, the most remarkable stories that, you know, that I've heard. And even tonight we hear, further stories, about what's happening for the decimation of the Rohingya and the challenges that we're seeing. And I've had the opportunity to work quite a bit with Arvind, and I just sit there with my jaw on the ground, just listening to what Arvind is doing and all the work he's doing. And 12 years ago, I was sitting in Singapore, and I was in the technology industry, completely different, completely away from all this. And here I am 12 years later, and I'm sitting here, and they're out of sight, but my family's around me. My wife's over here, and my son's over here. And we moved to Bali to stick our kids in green school, which we've talked a little bit about at some of the different evening discussions that in the accelerator part that we've been doing with you guys. And here my son has just launched with one of the other guys on this call a regenerative forest program, and that would not have been happening if we had not come to Bali, and that would not be happening if it wasn't for all of you guys who are on this call, from Earth Company to all the impact heroes to what the work that Arif is doing. But also what I love are all the people who are thanking the impact heroes. If you knew their stories of what Irma is doing and what Mo is doing and what Tim Fidgel is doing, I mean, this is a collection of such an amazing group of people that are positively affecting the world, and you have brought them all together to be doing this. And it kind of, it makes me think just jokingly about, one of my favorite philosophers, Yoda, who, he says to Luke, when Luke's getting all irritated about something, don't try, do, right? And this is what all of you guys are doing. You're not sitting around, you're not complaining. You have every excuse in the world to not go and do it. And all of you are making it successful and making it happen. And so, I am very happy to be sitting here on a Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, listening to all of your stories with my family. And I hope I get to hear more of your stories and get to know you all better. But thank you all for letting us be part of this. And thank you guys for hosting this, Tomo and Aska.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Chris. Always full of wisdom. I love it. Before Aska and I give our kind of final closing remarks, can you all turn on your videos? I know you guys have to run probably in a couple of minutes. So if you guys can turn on your videos for a group photo. Wish we can do this in person in Bali, but unfortunately we have to do this on Zoom. Yeah, if I think Jackie can do this for us, we'll do it on our side as well. Just keep smiling for a few seconds because I think we have multiple screens. Yeah, if you have family members, invite them into the screen. Yes, hi Joe, good to see you. Great, okay.
3, 2,
1. Okay, great. All right. Good. All right. Thank you. All right. So yeah, we are just a couple minutes away from 8 o'clock here. So Aska, do you want to share?
Sure. Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much, all of you, for being here today. Just your existence itself has been so inspiring to me. Of course, the presenters, you guys are just great people, doing things that, we can't do. And you guys are, addressing some of the problems that we might be creating as well, But to know that there are so many others, just like the ones that participated today, all of us are change makers in one way or the other, and we might have different roles. We might not be social entrepreneurs, but, some of you might be working from international organizations or NGOs or, through education or, through social enterprise, one way or the other, all of us are making changes. We're trying to make the world a better place. And I think occasions like tonight, we really reminds us that, yes, that's what we do. And we're passionate about it, and there's, all these change makers are really, they're doing great, but, they could do so much more if they had the resource, and, just how many people do we have today? Like around 40 people, right? Yeah, something like that. If even just 40 people could get our resources together, what can we do? What can we make happen? To imagine that, I think that's really exciting. So, point of today, really the purpose of today is for Earth Company to sort of meddle to cause, synergy and collaborations and stuff like that. So please feel free to reach out to anyone who you might resonate with today, and start collaborating with each other. We won't be jealous if you don't include us. But yeah, I mean, if you can all make that happen together, that's even more wonderful. So I'm just so thankful for today and all of your support and positivity. I feel more hopeful than yesterday today. So thank you so much, all of you.
Great. Thank you. Well, I don't have much more to say. I should have actually gone before her so she can say the final words. Always let the lady be in control. Maybe that should be my closing remarks. But yeah, first I want to thank So and Mami and the Earth Company team for making this happen. So has spent countless hours sweating, stressing about this. So everything went smoothly. So she deserves a couple of pints of beer, at least. And thank you, all of you, for making the time on a Tuesday night. I know it's a kind of a random weeknight. And for some of you, yeah, you guys had to go out of your way to make this happen. So it really means so much to us. And for the presenters, for the change makers, it's just a privilege for us to be able to work with you and to learn from you. I think more than anything, we try to, of course, share and support and connect you to different people that might be helpful. But at the end of the day, we derive so much more than what we can give. You give us hope, you give us inspiration, you give us, yeah, just so much positive energy. So yeah, I really want to thank everything that you do, everything that you stand for. And oftentimes, all the work that we do is quite lonely, right? The bamboo work, Rohingya work, sustainable tourism at village level, people with disabilities. This is all extremely difficult stuff. And just to be able to have this kind of space where we can share and support each other, I think it's just so important for all of us. And so thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I feel amazing. I feel so good that we were able to do this. And yeah, 2021 was not a bad year after all, at least for me, to be able to do this. So thanks again for all your energy and time. And yeah, please stay in touch. I think So shared the contact information of everyone. So feel free to reach out to whoever you want to. Yeah, so thank you so much to each and every one of you. Well, I guess we can keep the Zoom on in case you guys want to stay on, and also for to network and to talk about collaboration points. We can even start breakout rooms if you want. So we'll keep it on, but feel free to log off so you can enjoy the rest of your evening or rest of your day. But thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing event. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Have a
guys.
good night.
Good one.
Thank you. Take care.
Good night, everybody. See you. Hi, Fatima. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you, Oscar. See you, Tomo.
Thank you,
everybody.
guys. Thank you, Chris.
See you, our event. See you in Sri Lanka soon.
Yes, looking forward. I'll be flying in 2 weeks. Yeah.
If I can get through the quarantine, I'll come visit you. Take care, guys.
Good night, Chris.
See you then.
Thank you,
Bye.
Chris.